Hello, welcome to Me and My Golf TV. We're your coaches Andy and Pierce. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. It's Monday, which means it's the Impact Show where we're answering more of your questions.
We sure are, so make sure you get involved. Post them down below so we can pick one for next week.
Yes, and we've got a question today from Stu Crompton asking, can you please do a video talking about flipping through impact, Pierce? Okay. Is that a technical term, flipping?
Yeah, that's one term we use, I think, yes.
So we're going to talk about that today, really talk about, I suppose, two main reasons that we see this flipping action through the golf ball. But before we get into that, really we just want to explain actually what flipping means. There's other terms used for it, Pierce, but let's just explain to the viewers what this means.
It's not one of the deadliest swing faults, but it is something that you probably want to do if you want to hit the ball a little bit better. But so by flipping, what we're saying by our explanation of flipping would be that on the downswing, the angles that we've created between the shaft and the forearm, we lose those angles early, throw the club head down early. So basically when we get down to striking the golf ball, you can see the club head is bottoming out before the golf ball. I've got a heck of a lot of dynamic loft on the club face there as I'm striking it. And that just means that the shots are going to be high, they're going to be weak. We could hit the ground before the golf ball. And the ball speed, the ball coming off the club face is not going to come on very fast as well. So it just is not going to be that powerful. And it won't feel that nice either.
No, and we see this a lot, for a lot of people who have good club head speed, but they may be weak with their irons. And it's purely because they're delivering this high loft through the golf ball and just not maximising the speed that they're creating. So two main reasons we see this, Pierce, isn't there? First of all, compensation. Yes. Well, actually, sorry, concept, should I say. Yep. And then compensation. Just talk us through the concept and how people get this wrong and why they get it wrong.
And I think sometimes, they're just, it's almost a subconscious concept as well, because when they started playing the game, they realised the ball's on the ground, they're trying to lift it and help it up into the air. So if we have a look from the front on view here, Andy, we can see that if you're trying to lift the golf ball up in the air because it's on the ground, by doing that, a lot of people, as we say, throw the club head down early, they leave the weight on the back foot, and they just, again, as we say, offer a lot of dynamic loft to that shot, and in order to try and lift it up in the air and get that ball going up in the air. Whereas we know the club face, the loft, is what's going to get the golf ball in the air for you.
It makes sense to a lot of beginners. Well, I've got to hit it up in the air, whereas really what we've got to do is allow that, I suppose, trust the loft on the club, and we know that's going to do the work for us. So
it's interesting you say for beginners, but actually people who've been playing the game a long time, they started with that concept and never really get rid of it.
Exactly. So let's just explain what we want then.
What we want, okay, so what we want to see is that when we're striking the golf ball, we haven't got this shaft leaning back, we've actually got the shaft leaning forward more. So you can see straight away I put a little bit more pressure into my lead side. We have the shaft leaning forward. Now that means that the club head, when it's striking the golf ball, a few swans there trying to get on the action, the club head when we're striking the golf ball is descending. Now we can see the loft is a lot lower, the dynamic loft is a lot lower with that shaft length forward, and that just means that we've got more chance of bottoming out after the golf ball. More penetrating ball flight, more distance, and actually straighter as well.
Definitely. We see the best players in the world, the top guys are all doing this. They're delivering that lower dynamic loft, getting that much more solid contract and getting this desired ball flight. So the next thing then we come to really, Pierce, is compensation. And this is probably the main thing that we see people flip through the golf ball. Because of what's happened before, they're trying to sort of compensate for other things in order to square the club face. And it's a big problem, but there's ways to fix it, which we're going to come to in a moment as well.
And you're absolutely right, and do not underestimate this, sorry. This is something that, a lot of people do when they're hitting golf shots. So basically, a lot of people will flip the club down early because they're trying to square the club face up. So a lot of people, as we know, slice the golf ball. So what they're trying to do, if your grip or if in your backswing you are opening the club face, or even in your downswing the club face is open, you will do everything you can to try and square that club face up. Because if I had an open club face like that, I'll sort that ball out in a moment, if I had an open club face like that and I did everything that I needed to do in a good concept, the golf ball is probably going to go to the right. So what I will do, as I said, in my downswing, if that club face is very, very open, I will flip the club down early just to give myself a chance of squaring the club face up. And as we can see there, high dynamic loft, bottoming out before the ball, weak, not very good iron.
And people can play good golf doing this. The people can play good golf flipping. It just means that they're not going to get the potential that they get, with the strike and with the distance with the irons. So let's talk us through a drill that's going to help with the concept and compensation, Pierce.
It actually works a 2 for 1. We always like 2 for 1s, don't we, Andy? Okay, so what we want to do is really take control or take charge of the loft or the position of the face through the shot, and also the shaft lean. So can we get the shaft leaning further forward? So hold the golf club all the way down by the ferrule of the golf club there, tuck the shaft to the left of your body. Now at any point when we're going through the shot now, not going to hit a shot from here, but through the motion, we don't want the shaft touching the body. So I take my grip. Now as I swing back, just doing a mini swing, we know we have to start the downswing with the low body, so let's do that, let's shift towards the target. But now I'm going to put all my focus and attention into that club face. What is the club face going to look like? So when I swing down to what we call parallel point 3, when the shaft is pretty much parallel to the ground, I can hardly see any loft on that club face. If I were to get that club face and open it, I can see a lot of loft. I want you to get into a position where you're here and you cannot see the loft on the club face.
You can see this is much closer to Pierce's spine angle now, and the great thing, getting this club in a stronger position means you haven't got to work very hard to try and square the face, but now you can lean that shaft through the hitting area, which is going to help give that good dynamic loft through the golf ball. Now when someone's in this position, you've got to work extra hard to actually square the face, and this is where the flipping action comes from. So really key, the first thing is getting this in a stronger position, and now Pierce, we can start to get that shaft leaning forward.
Yeah, and the real focus really here is just actually get the club face and square it up to the golf ball. So if I square it up to the golf ball there, stopping at where impact would be, look at the shaft now. A lot of shaft lean, almost too much if you were hitting a normal shot, but you can see that shaft is nowhere near my body. I'm leaning the shaft forward, I've got a good, powerful, dynamic loft, and then from there I can just continue to turn into a finish. And you're absolutely right, Andy, as soon as you are in this very open, twisted position here, you know, you've got no chance. At this position here, you've got to do all of that flicking, and you can see I'd send the club into my body. So rehearse this a lot. Swing back to here, bump toward the target, and then become obsessed with getting that loft stronger. You can see my wrists are doing some good movements there, but I cannot see loft there. Square it up there and then turn through.
Good. Now what I like about this drill is having your hands really close to the club head really gets the, I suppose, the awareness of how these influence this, okay, because this is really what sort of forces everything to do a good movement.
It's all that matters really, isn't it? It's all that matters.
Okay, so hitting a shot like this.
Hitting a shot, yeah. Now obviously we can't hit a shot like this, but what we can do is we can go extremely down the grip, so you're right down so the index finger there is just touching the steel on the shaft. Now the good thing with this is I'm just going to hit some mini shots again, same feeling of getting that club face in a strong position and leaning the shaft forward, but because the grip is coming out the side there, I can sort of use that a little bit to feel as though the shaft is pointing out on the left side of my body. Okay, so I'm gonna...
This is a drill that Pierce doesn't need to do because he gets plenty of wrist set, but you'll do this more naturally anyway, Pierce.
Yeah, and I think teeing the golf ball up is really good when you're doing this drill as well. So here we go, just mini back and mini through. Very low ball flight. A little bit pulley there, Andy, but it makes sense if I'm working at strengthening that face.
Okay, so some really good things there. Again, remember, concept is important to understand where you want to be at impact, but certainly compensations are what we see the majority of people, why they tend to flip, and a great drill there to actually work on both. Hope that helps, guys. Make sure you post any questions for next week. Don't forget to do that, and subscribe to see our videos every week. Thanks a lot.
So thanks for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed that. Now don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this every single week. Now also follow us on our other social media platforms, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram.
Right, Pierce.
How to do that?
Yes, right. Also, guys, if you want to improve your irons, your ball striking especially, make sure you check out our 4-part video series, Strike Your Irons Pure. Click the link there, it's going to take you straight to it. Thanks a lot, we'll see you soon.
See you soon.